in the garden. Just a question, interesting. Time. It takes time. It's all a matter of time, and it's really positive to see that things are coming forth. It just took time for folks to see. Now, folks have enough information to compare and contrast about cults, different cult leaders in the states, overseas. There's enough information out there to compare and contrast. Hopefully, folks now will start to enact a vetting process. And this could be for any religious organization or cult or new age group or something you're interested or seeking for guidance, so that we can distinguish between information and principles and people and personalities, even if we like the person or the personality. I'll say this: as folks are continuing to come forth to share some of their experience, to perhaps denounce the cults that they were involved in, I have a question. Who is accountable? Who is accountable and who is responsible? So as individuals, whether you are a nice person or not, if you choose with ill information, misinformation, you're going to have to be the one that is responsible. You'll have to be the one that has to live with the consequences. So if folks have missed out on years of their life, years of their children's lives, depleted their resources and life savings, if perhaps folks have exposed themselves to organisms from other people's bodies, even if you're a nice person, even if you're ignorant, you will have to live with the consequences. And I think it's really interesting, something for folks to be mindful of, male and females, young people. It's interesting to watch some of these folks that have jumped on the bandwagon for whatever their agenda is. It's interesting to watch folks backtrack now and to deflect and to not take accountability. Folks that have jumped on the bandwagon and wanted to be down to support the movement or the knowledge or the information or veganism, when things finally hit the fan or things are finally revealed, it's so interesting to watch them go into the backdrop or to have a conversation to deflect on some faux positivity, but ultimately not take responsibility for lives that they have tampered with and damage that's done. Granted, young people quite often may have good intentions or trying to avoid pain or not knowing how to cope with trauma, looking up to different individuals on the internet. And there are folks that are clearly manipulating folks' vulnerability, young people's vulnerabilities and insecurities. That also of parents, of mothers. And so, nice people or not, you'll still have to live with the consequences. So for those folks that may be interested in following the next online personality or the next proclaimed leader of knowledge, know that if you are in the absence, if you don't take the time to vet properly, to run credit checks, criminal checks, cross-reference character before you open yourself with your economics, your finances, your school money, your houses, your cars, leave your children. If you choose poorly, even in ignorance, you'll have to live with the consequences, and that's no joke. There may be potential damage done to you, psychological, emotional, that likely you'll not bounce back from. There's also have to consider that there are children quite often involved that are going to be exposed to things. There are a lot of children missing out in their formative lives on their parents, their relationships that are divided. Granted, folks have their own issues and reasons why we are attracted to the lure and the enticement of cults. However, again, to put it most simple, when self-proclaimed leaders and bestowers of knowledge, giving you sacred information and knowledge with whatever their hat is or their outfit or their red, gold, and green, you will have to be the one that has to live with long-lasting, possibly lifelong consequences. And they'll just skirt off into the sunset. And you'll be left with the damage. And they won't feel any kind of way about it. Zero remorse. Thus, Narcissism. In the beginning of this, I don't know if I want to say journey or this chapter of my sharing, I thought it was so interesting the amount of gaslighting. And now we know more information about gaslighting. How much gaslighting and shame was given to people that dare speak out against something that as a collective we hold as an image of our culture or somebody because they share the same skin tone. Now all of these things, these behaviors, these manipulation, narcissistic behavior, a lot of it has come to the surface. So people have the opportunity to know and to educate themselves. So again, should you take a chance and choose poorly, you will have to live with the consequences alone by yourself. If you have children, their lives, out of these situations, their lives will be affected forever. Children and people born into cults, they don't know anything else, so they're fortunate if they should make it out. So I invite you to put your thinking caps on, and I invite you to consider when you allow somebody to lead you, consider, have you vetted them thoroughly, properly? Can you really vouch for their character? Why are we so willing to put our lives on the line for people who we don't know just because we like their outfit and they represent something? And to make it clear, I get it why we'll be attracted to these father figures. it makes sense. However, the one thing that can helpfully or hopefully really give us some kind of healthy boundaries for ourselves is a thorough vetting process. Inviting you to keep your thinking cap on and not be afraid to have respectful yet uncomfortable conversations with those who you would place on a pedestal. Create a great day on purpose.